Hello, this is Stephen Primo, and welcome to Primo Trades. Now, in this brief educational presentation, I'm going to talk to you about a tool that I use in my daily trading, and I've been using for over 4 decades. But let's start out with today's theme, and that is something that most of us have been taught and to use, but here's what I learned about indicators. A lagging indicator is something that tells you what is going to happen after it already happened. As I just said, most of us are taught to apply indicators to our trading, but as it says here, most of them are lagging. They're just a little bit late, and by the time you either get in or get out, it's really changed direction, and the stock, future, currency pair is actually doing something else. So what we're going to be talking about today is a really finely tuned and very sensitive tool that I use in my own personal trading called the PTS. I've been using this for over 40 years now. I learned this on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange. And if you haven't seen it in my free webinars, let's explain exactly what the PTS is. First of all, it's a short-term trend detector. Now, when I was on the floor, this was something that we had to calculate by hand, but now we've developed it into a color bar tool. Now, there are literally dozens, if not hundreds of ways to apply it, but I'm going to share with you a unique way, and that's by applying it as a translator. Now, what exactly do I mean? Well, let's look at this example right here in ATER. This is an older chart, but just for educational purposes. Now, most traders, let's say if you had bought this, and you had bought it all the way down, you're saying to yourself, wow, well, it's too oversold, or that guy in that trading room says it's going to bounce because of the support. And then all of a sudden on this day, some news comes out and then it just really gaps down lower. So you decide to get out, and then this happens, right? Look familiar? So what we want is a tool that can translate to us in advance, well in advance, that something is going to be going lower or something is going to be going higher. And that's the PTS. Let me share with you how simple it is on our platform. You simply go to the green strategy tab here where it says PTS, click that on, and the bars automatically change color. Now, what you look for are consecutive bars. Either 2 or 3 consecutive red bars will tell you the market is going lower. And you see how we found that out well in advance before this big dropped down. And then 2 or 3 consecutive green bars will tell you that the market wants to go higher. And you see how we were alerted and how this translator told us well in advance of the big market swing up. So as it says, the beauty of the PTS is that it tells you which direction you should be trading. And once you know, you can confirm if your strategy is in sync with that direction. So the PTS literally translates on a tick-by-tick basis what any market, any time frame wants to do. So let me share with you some current examples and see how you could have applied it to trades this week if you wanted to. Now here's an example in GME. Okay, we see that it's been heading lower. It had a nice steady upward movement, and then it headed strongly lower. How could the PTS have helped us? Well, on our platform, simply click on PTS, and as you can see, we had 2 to 3 consecutive green bars telling us it wanted to go up. But at this point, right here, at the end of August, we had 2 red bars, 3 altogether. So basically, when price was at 34, the market, not some guy in a chat room, not some other lagging indicator, but the translator was telling us that it wants to go lower. If anything, you should either be short or out of this entirely. So that was basically when the price was 33, and right now it's lost 10 more points, okay? Let's look at AMC, all right? Same process. We're going up very nicely, and all of a sudden we head lower, and then there's a big gap to the downside and steadily lower in September. Now, wouldn't you have liked to know somewhere right here, at least to get out? Well, if we apply the PTS, we see that we had consecutive green bars here telling us it wanted to go higher, but right here, 2 red bars, all right? For assurance, we could have used 3 red bars and exited roughly about 18 or 19, and now the stock is trading around 8 or so, okay? Now we can apply this to intraday trading. Here's a 10-minute chart of the spider, straight up and then straight down. Once we apply the PTS, we see we had consecutive green bars telling us it wanted to go higher. And right here at this point, we had 2 to 3 consecutive red bars telling us it wanted to go lower. So you think this could help your intraday trading? Now, you can also use this on other time frames. Here's a weekly chart of ENPH, consecutive red bars followed by consecutive green bars. The third bar was roughly at 200, and now the stock is trading up another 100 points, roughly 300, 320. Here's a monthly chart of DraftKings, okay? Consecutive green bars, roughly around the 32, 33 level. But right here, we changed 2 consecutive red bars, roughly around 30, 32. We could have exited. The stock has lost just about half of its value. Now let's see what the current market is doing. Let's look at the diamonds. That's the ETF that represents the Dow Jones, okay? Here's the current chart. Most of July and into August, we were going straight up, and then we had a downward move. And now this is what we're doing today on the 9th of September. Let's see how the PET-D could have helped us. We apply this, and we see that consecutive green bars told us in mid-July that the market wanted to go higher. It was at this point right here that we had consecutive red bars to tell us to exit. Now, this was at the end of July, and the market, as we all have seen, has gone very quickly down to the downside. Now, here's what's happened today. We've had a couple of days of bounces, and on this day, it's green. But remember, the rule says that you need 2 to 3 consecutive green bars for there to be a signaling of an upward trend, short-term upward trend. So right now, this is not enough to tell us that the market is going to have sustained rally. So let's keep in tune while following the PET-D. Remember, the PET-D literally translates what any market, any time frame wants to do. And you can only access the PET-D on the PTS Primo charting platform. This is the educational platform I developed with Pro Trader Strategies that actually teaches traders how to trade. Now, for more information, contact Pro Trader Strategies. They're in charge of all the tech support as well as all the pricing and discounts. I would highly recommend giving them a call at area code 310-598-6677. There's absolutely no obligation. You can ask them about pricing. You can get more information about the PET-D or any other of our methods or techniques or strategies that we have at Pro Trader Strategies and Specialist Trading. You can also click on the link below for more info. As we conclude, please take one last look at our disclaimer. I just want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something and how the PET-D could actually help you. But most especially, I look forward to you being students of mine in the PET-D course. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next Primo Trades video.